Today, last-minute tickets at the lowest price, guaranteed.
You are locked on Texas
This thing
Tech,
could get,
your
because it's going to
daily
get
podcast
expanded.
on the Texas Tech
It's going to get
Red
tweaked
Raiders.
to where there's
Part
not
of
two
the
group of
Locked
five
On
teams going
Podcast
there.
Network. Your team
It's going to get
every day.
There's going to be some adjustments made. I think even in the immediate. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I think that's a fair assumption to make. And with that, you wonder, okay, something's got to give. Conference championship games, some of the bowl games, the calendar. There's got to be some sort of, okay, how does this fit? You know, the Army-Navy game has always been on a date on its own. We've always had all of these things that, like, you can't mess with the Rose Bowl. You can't mess with Army-Navy. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, I think you're about to do a lot of some of these things, because I that's the only thing that is standing in the way of what I believe is an expansion. Look, the SEC wants a 16-team expansion. I think the Big Ten is rooting for 20 or 24. I don't know if there's a meet in the middle or if there's AQs attached to this thing. We know where the Big 12 stands. But your biggest hang up is some of the traditional bowls, or the Rose Bowl specifically, and just like the calendar itself. And I do think one answer there is to do what Joey talked about recently, was just moving the whole season up a week to where you're playing, around the August 23rd, range. And then week 2 is the, Labor Day weekend, and then so on. And that way you've got some extra time, and then you can finish up. Because the last game on this deal is January the 19th. I love college football, but that's NFL time to me. It just almost seems like the sport runs out of steam the further it goes. And whereas this time of year right now that we're sitting in right now, it's like, I don't know. I just think that's when some of this meaningful stuff should be being played, and instead of these lengthy layoffs. So I don't know. There's got to be a lot of negotiation and tweaking and all those things. Because this is exactly why, another point, that USC and Notre Dame decide they don't want to play their game anymore. I think this is more of a USC thing. USC, I think, said, we want to play this game still, but we want to do it in like September. We want to do it much earlier. And it's always traditionally been, later on in the season. Well, USC is about to play a 9th conference game, and there's just a lot of moving parts. But the whole sport is suffering because, you lose a good game like USC and Notre Dame, and BYU is going to benefit here in a home and home with the Irish. But it's just, there's a lot. There's a lot that's, I think, about to change, and I think we're all kind of stuck into this mindset of, well, this is the way it's always been. The Army-Navy game has always been on this day. The Heisman Trophy ceremony has always been on this day. We've always had these bowls in these certain cities, and we've always conference championship games. And so I don't know, man. We're about to see kind of what's most important in the coming weeks and whatnot, because I do think you're looking at changes.
First, today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. And football is in full force, and FanDuel's keeping you stocked with action every game day with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet only $5, and if your bet hits, you're getting $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. Any way you like it, FanDuel has you covered. Quick, easy, and secure every time. If you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
Yeah, growing pains, and some of it will be painful and not all that great, but it's necessary. Ain't worried about it, and you're going to come out with something better on the other side of it. And it seems like any number of ways could improve the situation, whether it's the timing or some other things. And I do kind of feel like it's sort of a petering out, anticlimactic thing there at the end as you continue to stretch it out. And then they say, how about a Monday night? Let's finish it off with a big Monday night party, which we all love. So can you tighten it up a little bit, get a little more into a frenzied kind of tournament or playoff sort of state? How tight can you tighten it up? I don't know, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement. And when there is a will, there's a way. We've already learned that. So hopefully the will is there, because I think there are some solutions that are fairly common sense. And some of it, to me, Chris, is just rooted in having to kind of acquiesce mostly to the bowl system. Aside from like the Army Navy component or some of these other things you reference, which are things that'll have to be considered, it's mostly to me just like, well, the Rose Bowl refuses to do anything other than what they've always done. So up to now, we've continued to say, thank you, sir. May I have another? But I don't know. Maybe that changes in the future.
And the NFL, I do think there's an NFL like TV window and a financial. There's just a lot of there's a lot going on there. And we haven't even talked about what Lanning's main point was, is that this game should be in Lubbock, Texas. I think people, after they watch the environments there, I mean, Oregon had a great one as well, even for James Madison, is like there should be more home games, not less. But there's the Orange Bowl director, and there's the Citrus Bowl director, and there's the Rose Bowl committee, and all that going, hey, we want ours too, you know. So I don't know, man. I mean, you can have a parade down Broadway, and we can call it the Orange Bowl Parade. I mean, we can put people on
the Tournament of Crickets parade.
Wave. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, they do that July 4th parade, and they got those Shriners riding those go-karts around everywhere. I mean,
we know how to show America a good time.
That's what I'm saying,
the Shriners out there working.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do feel like, Chris, there's nothing I think of more like that I want more when I'm watching a college football home game than a sterilized domed NFL stadium. Like, why couldn't this be there? This is not that much fun. So, yeah, I think there's room again for expansion on many fronts as far as like more home games or whatever it might be, but also still preserving some things. Hopefully there's a consensus builder out there leading some of these efforts that can get folks on the same page. Much easier said than done. I certainly understand all that, but we're making progress. We can say that. Century plus overdue, making some progress. And again, just some growing pains. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because it's a little uncomfortable stretching those legs out right now. You know what I'm saying? I think that's an analogy that holds water.
Sure, absolutely. or is thrown out. Either way.
I'm kind of like that Monday Night National Championship game. I'm petering at her at the end. What a fine time to wrap it up. Chris, appreciate your time, my man. And boy, howdy, we got a game week upon us when we reconvene. And unlike any other we've ever experienced as Red Raiders. So I hope you're ready. I'm ready. And I hope everybody out there is ready. We'll see you for that one.
Yeah, sounds good. Looking forward to it. See you on South Beach, people.
Get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. First time that's ever been said on this episode, I think, to wrap up a Locked On Texas Tech.
And maybe the only time. Yeah.
Combo.
Yeah.
We'll be back maybe in just a few weeks. Okay. I don't want to get too crazy dreaming too big of dreams just yet. Thank you to the everydayers for always riding along. The Matador Mob as well. Hit our show notes and find a link to a free 14-day trial. If you're interested in joining that crew, your direct line to Chris and myself with one-on-one text sent straight to your phone. For Chris, I'm Casey. Thanks as always for the time. And we hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.